Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Jermaine, and I am back with yet another Simple Truth News update. A few months ago, I reported to you about what was going on with the various alphabet agencies in the United States government. When I talk about the alphabet agencies, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, and I was telling you about how it was being reported that over 1.6 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition was being purchased by various different organizations. Some of the organizations was the Social Security Administration. I mean, it was just agencies that you would never think that would be buying such weaponry or ammunition. Well, now it continues. You know, there's an old saying that goes, when it comes to the weather, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute and it'll change. I know that's true here in my neck of the woods here in the Midwest, but never could truer words be spoken when it comes to what is going to happen and the developments that are going to happen when it comes to the United States government. I want to take you to two articles. One article talks about how a congressman was very interested in the very thing that I'm speaking with you about right now, about how the IRS, yes, you heard me, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Services, the ones that have to do with taxes and things of that nature, really the strong arm and the bully, the financial bully for the federal government, is now training their agents with AR-15s. And they are teaching them standoff capability, long-range capability in their training. I want you to check out this article from Infowars.com. Alex Jones's Infowars, and then we'll be right back. Well, okay, here we go. We have an article here from a very reputable source, which is Alex Jones's Infowars.com. Alex Jones is on the forefront of keeping people informed about the news and the information behind the news. And here is the story about the IRS. The IRS refuses to answer congressmen on AR-15s for standoff capability. Do they need a SWAT team to make sure you've paid your taxes? This article comes from August the 12th, 2013, just about a week ago, and it reads, the IRS has refused to answer Congressman Jeff Duncan's question on why IRS agents are training with semi-automatic AR-15s designed for standoff capability. And you can see here, there's a YouTube video that you can, I'll leave you this article, the link to this article, and if you choose, you can go and look at the video of what the congressman had to say. It's a very short video, as you can see, 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Back in May, Congressman Duncan, a Republican from South Carolina, visited the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, FLETC, in Maryland as part of his investigation into the Department of Homeland Security's large-scale ammunition purchases. While at the facility, Duncan witnessed 8 or 9 IRS agents using AR-15s at a 100-yard indoor firing range, leading him to wonder, why in the world would we have IRS agents with long gun capability? Why are they training with that? Why do IRS agents need that capability? Duncan noted that the style of firearms training the IRS agents were taking was called standoff capability, meaning they could target an individual from a long distance away. Why do IRS agents need standoff capability? Duncan asked at a recent public forum. They should be checking my tax forms. They should be doing audits. The congressman questioned why the federal agency couldn't call on U.S. Marshals or local law enforcement if they were visiting a potentially dangerous criminal. I asked that question. I have not got an answer because my committee does not have jurisdiction over the Internal Revenue Service. So I can't bring IRS agents in front of my committee and ask them questions, said Duncan, adding that the IRS merely sent him a response pointing to their website stating that agents do train with weapons they carry, validating the fact that they do carry AR-15s, according to the congressman. Duncan said he would now encourage his peers who do have jurisdiction over the IRS to ask the federal agency why its agents are now apparently carrying standoff capability assault rifles because the IRS has not been cooperative. My committee doesn't have direct oversight over the IRS, so I've been trying to build support for an investigation. The IRS has not shown me any information on why they need to train with AR-15s. As Joshua Cook points out, the Department of Education is also acquiring tactical weapons, along with numerous other federal agencies that wouldn't be expected to require such deadly weaponry. When asked whether the Department of Education should have its own SWAT team, Duncan responded, "Absolutely not. That's the whole concern with the IRS. Do they need a SWAT team to make sure you've paid your taxes?" This, just as bad as the Department of Education actually having agents who are armed and trained with AR-15s, both are symbols of a federal government that is out of control and whose powers have grown well beyond those outlined in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, added Steve Hoffman, the Southeast Regional Director for the Republican Liberty Caucus, RLC. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see from the article and the things that were being shared, many questions are starting to arise to why. Why is an agency like the IRS, and as the article states, the Department of Education are beginning to train and to begin to acquire such massive and such deadly weaponry? It makes you wonder. Now, let me take you to another agency, another report from Infowars.com. But now we're going to talk about the TSA, the agency that has already been guilty of many reports, and you've heard me talk about it here on The Simple Truth, many reports of, inappropriately, feeling up individuals, women, men, and even children, and then, parents being upset, mothers. I did a story about a mother who went completely off in the airport in Tennessee about the fact that she was not comfortable with how this TSA agent was beginning to grope and feel up her child. But now the TSA is purchasing ammunition and beginning to train because they have a part of the TSA that is going to be used as almost like a stormtrooper patrolling segment and team within the TSA. Take a look at this article that I'm going to share with you, and we'll be right back. Now, this article is entitled TSA to Purchase 3.5 million rounds of ammunition, enough for its agents to fire 9,400 bullets a day, every day, for a year. Now, this article comes from August the 19th, 2013. The Transportation Security Administration is set to purchase 3.5 million .357 SIG caliber bullets, enough for its agents to fire 9,400 rounds a day, every day of the year. According to a solicitation issued by the agency on August 16th, the TSA is looking to buy 3,454,000 rounds of .347 SIG caliber training ammunition. Although TSA agents in airports are currently unarmed, last month the TSA announced its plans to hire the use of a firing range within a 20-mile radius of LaGuardia Airport in order to train TSA workers. The federal agency's huge bullet buying could signal an expansion of its controversial Visible Intermediate Prevention and Response (VIRP) program, where teams of armed TSA officers patrol railroad stations, bus stations, ferries, car tunnels, ports, subways, truck way stations, rest areas, and special events. VIPR teams currently conduct around 8,000 operations a year, as well as providing security at transportation hubs. VIPR teams are now being used to keep tabs on fans at sporting events. Earlier this month, it was announced that VIPR agents would now be patting down Americans outside the airport by conducting stop and search shakedowns at transport hubs and public events. As Government Security News notes, the amount of ammunition being purchased means the TSA could fire off more than 9,400 rounds per day, every day of the year, to consume that entire quantity annually. Significant bullet purchases by the TSA are likely to fuel concerns that the federal government is arming itself to the teeth for some form of domestic unrest or other catastrophe following the Department of Homeland Security's commitment to purchase more than 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition over the course of the last 18 months. As we reported last week, Congressman Jeff Duncan's attempt to get answers on why the IRS is also training its agents with semi-automatic AR-15s designed for standoff capability has been ignored by the federal agency. Ladies and gentlemen, it is becoming more and more apparent that the Patriot Act that was put into effect a number of years ago, it was an act against the patriots here in the United States. It wasn't against the possible terrorists, the so-called terrorists that are going to be a threat against us. It was a way and an opening and an ability to be able to now threaten and terrorize the everyday people like you and like me. The simple truth of the whole matter is, ladies and gentlemen, is we have to ask ourselves one simple question. Who is actually the terrorist? Is it the people that we have been conditioned to believe is the terrorist? Or are the very people that are supposed to be the ones protecting us, are they the ones that are doing the terrorizing? This has been yet another episode of The Simple Truth. And as I always tell you, it's the simple things which are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you, and I'll see you again real soon.